Hello, hello, and thank you for watching JD, the Ender of Games. Today I will be showing you how I ended the Covetous Demon. I'll also be talking a bit about the tools I use to accelerate the grinding process. First, before I get into that, I'd like to ask you to go ahead and hit hit the subscribe button there, and also, give the video a like if you actually, you like what's going on here. And if you have any thoughts, I'm happy to hear them. Go ahead and leave them in the comment field below. Um, so first off, I just want to get into the classes, right? I'm going to talk about the classes a little bit more in depth than when I brought them up previously. Uh, in the the first tool I use really has to do with the class that I pick. Um, what I always pick if the option is available, and I say that because the option wasn't available in Dark Souls 2, just the vanilla version, uh, is the Deprived. Now, I do this because it allows me to have more control over the stat distribution, right? So you have like a set amount of attributes, and each of those attributes determines what weapons you can use, what armor sets you can use, how much damage you do, how much health you have, that kind of thing. And when you start as a deprived, all of those attributes start at 6, right? So uh, that's real important to me whenever I'm doing really any kind of build, because if it's not specific like this guts build, then I usually just like to have one character, and that one character you can change the stats any way you want with a new item in this game. Well, it's not new in Scholar of the First Sin, but it's new in Dark Souls 2, called the Soul Vessel, and you will literally be able to distribute those attribute points however you want, and you'll have 179 of them, because you start at soul level 1 as a deprived, and what that means is, I guess for example, let's say you started as a sorcerer, right? Sorcerer starts at soul level 11, and they've already got certain attributes at certain points, right? For instance, the attunement, right? The attunement attribute for a sorcerer is at 12, starting off, right? So let's say you had fun with your sorcerer, uh, through half of the game, and you want to see what it's like to have a quality build. You're at level 180. Well, you're always gonna have 12 attunement, no matter what, if you start with the sorcerer. And this mechanic, uh, it's applicable to any other class that you start. So whatever your starting class is, the lowest number that you can have for their attributes is going to be what they started at, right? And I think for all the rest of them it's still level 11. That might be different, but if you do the deprived, then that will give you 179 points to play with instead of 169, and you have more control over what attributes have uh, set stats, right? Like you can set your own. So the deprived starts at soul level 1. The you know the highest some of those stats will be, if you want them to be, is at 6. They don't have to go any higher than that, and that gives you more wiggle room with your other attributes. Uh, so that's an important thing to me. Um, so you've got the deprived, or like whatever class that you want to start with. I mean, some people want to go for like a spell sword kind of build. So I mean, I guess in that case, it wouldn't be bad to start with the sorcerer. You gotta level up a little more to have a little bit more of the same, uh, I guess, distribution for those stats. Now you notice I hit, if you notice I hit every item chest before I open it, and that is because in Dark Souls 2, any one of them could have been a, a certain enemy that's disguised as an item chest, and yeah, they're they're really annoying. Actually, they kind of remind me a little bit of xenomorphs if xenomorphs were just an item. Moving on though, we'll actually talk about them a little bit more in depth later in other videos to come. I want to talk about the other tools that I start off with, right? So like you've got the deprived or whatever class you're starting with. Now what do you do, right? I actually normally just make a beeline for the traveling merchant hag Militia, and she's actually located in one of the areas that you can access pretty easily and early on in the game. Like it could be the first area you go to if you want. Uh, she's got a couple of things that are pretty important, at least to me, in the way that I play. The first thing is that she has the merchant hat, and that's that can be purchased for 850 souls, and that will basically increase your item find discovery. Uh, that makes it so that you get more drops. I don't know the percentage of how many more drops or the numbers exactly, but I do know that it works wonders for me, and I get a lot more item drops when I'm wearing it. And you can actually see it. It's a noticeable change too. It's not something that's just like, oh, we're gonna do it like a like a percentage, like a 0.01% more. No, it's a noticeable change where when you take it off, you see the difference in the item drops. And there's some other items that increase item discovery, and also actually this is a perfect opportunity to segue into the second item I go straight for, and that is the Covetous Serpent Ring. This can also be obtained by the Merchant Hag Militia. If you're one of those players that doesn't mind killing an NPC early on in the game, by all means go ahead. She drops it, right? It's an item drop. What I will say though is, if you're gonna kill any NPCs, I always recommend doing it after you've beaten all the games and you're ready to go on to New Game Plus. Just because there are certain negative consequences for murking the NPCs, and on top of that, you can also get the Covetous Serpent Ring +1 by exhausting her dialogue. You'll know you've exhausted her dialogue when she gives you the ring, and so just talk to her until she's like, "Oh, hey, I have this for you." And what that does is we have percentages for that, and you can see all of this in the link that I am gonna put in the description below for the resource that I use while I play this game. And so basically, it increases all souls acquired by 20%. Say that again. It increases all souls acquired by 20%. So you need 850 souls to purchase the merchant hat. So let's say you want to get that. So you need 850 souls. If you have that before you even try to get the merchant hat, then you will actually be, while you're getting that 850 souls or aiming for it, getting 170 souls more, while acquiring that 850 souls than you would without it. It's a really useful item. There's also a Covetous Serpent Ring +2. That's a little more like into the game though, so I'm not going to really go over how to get that. This is just early game items that I want to go over. So I mean that's great. I mean, because this game is about the souls, and I'm about the souls. I mean it's Dark Souls 2. It's all about. I mean, it is definitely about the souls. The souls are important. So the third item, or second item, depending on how many souls I have by the time I get to the Merchant Hag, that I go for is the Chloranthy Ring +1, and this can be found in the same area. Well, not the exact same area, right? But it's on the other side of the wall of where the Merchant Hag is. You'll know you're in that in the correct place whenever there's a little dude standing on a column throwing fire bombs, and there's like explosive barrels everywhere. So definitely be careful. Then there's, you go past that, down some stairs, there's a little ladder, and just past the ladder there's an opening in the wall. You want to run past that, and then get ready for battle. You're going to have like 4 to 6 enemies with great swords chasing after you. Take them out one by one, or have, the ability to attack them all at once. That's the most efficient way, the most lucrative way I've found to really deal with enemies in this game. There's going to be a trap set for you though, and you're going to want to actually purchase another item called a Pharaoh's Lockstone from the merchant Hag Malintia, and I think that's about like 1500 souls. What you'll do with this item is, once you defeat the enemies that have the trap set for you and the ballista area, which is in that, that hole in the wall I was telling you about, there's going to be kind of like a blue glow to the room down below, right? And you're going to put that inside of a hole that looks kind of like, I don't know, there's like 2 holes and then one bigger below those 2. You put that in there, it'll make another part of the wall glow like really bright blue, and you want to go touch that wall and it will open a secret passage or reveal a secret passage. And then when you do that, what'll happen is there should be some chests in there. One of them is actually a Titanite slab. You won't be able to use that for a while, and then the other will be the Chloranthy Ring +1. Now the Chloranthy Ring +1, what that does is that grants you additional stamina recovery. So you swing, and you're going to recover stamina that much, that much faster than if you didn't have it. It does take up a ring slot, however, it's really, well actually, we're just getting the Chloranthy Ring here, not the Chloranthy Ring +1. The Chloranthy Ring +1 is in the chest in the Shaded Woods, but let's see the stats for this thing. It doesn't look like we have any information on the stats. Oh, here we go. We are actually fighting the Covetous Demon now. So this guy's pretty easy. I just try to stay behind him, do as much damage as I can. As you can see, I'm doing quite a bit of damage there. He does have this rolling attack, so be careful. And then I've actually never successfully done this, but you see that there are these stairs up here. What you want to actually do to get up there is stand over by those stairs, and I'm going to try this. So maybe do like a new game file. I'm going to try this, and essentially you want him to slap you up to those stairs. Another thing I've kind of wanted to play with, there are these spikes over here where you see these containers. I wanted to jump up there and see if maybe he'll roll into those when he's trying to roll over you. So that's how I ended the Covetous Demon. Please go ahead and leave any thoughts you have in the comments below. I'm definitely interested in hearing how you play and what tools you find make the game easier for you. Maybe I'll give them a try. Also if there's anything specific that you'd like me to try or cover, go ahead and let me know that way in the comments below as well. Or shoot me a message. Thanks.